Okay, you're live on the Archie Luxury program. Today, I've got a special treat, a very, very special treat. I had a lot of backlash come at me, and I don't want to dwell on the negativity. But I want to talk about these super collectors. Now, you know, I got to be honest with you there. This is I've managed to coax one of these super collectors onto the show, and we're gonna just do a bit of interviewing. And this is just I just want to get this interview out there, and we'll see how it goes there. I'll tell you, this is one of my collections of all time. And I've got to make a confession. I fell in love with the collection. Forget the egos. I fell in love with this collection. And I actually did host it on my channel. I'm just going to bring up a quick picture so you guys in the home audience can see part of the collection. I just have been staring at this photo. And so without further ado, I've got the anonymous super collector on my channel. Hello, Mr. Anonymous. How are you?
I'm fine, Archie. How you doing?
Hey, not too bad there. Not too bad at all. It's a real pleasure to have you on the Archie Luxury channel. And we can sort of have a bit of a discussion here. It's really, really fascinating to see your collection. And I got to tell you, this collection review of yours, I've been swamped with feedback. I've been swamped with a lot of negativity. And, I think people have misconstrued what you've said. I think they have misunderstood. They've misunderstood some of your intent there. So, what is your intent? You're coming on the program to basically enlighten people on some horological choices you've made. You're not here to rub people, are you?
You're obviously asking the question why I've done it. Not that it's any of their business why I've done it, because I'm not doing it for them. I'm doing it for myself. But since they brought up the question, I don't mind asking them why I've chosen the watches that I've chosen. Not a problem.
Yes. It's I think some people have said some comments that you are a little bit of a show off. What do you think of that comment?
Well, if I was a show off, well, put it this way: if I was a show off, I wouldn't be buying those watches. I'd be buying Rolex watches, and I'd be shooting the cuff every day of the week. So, if I was a show off, those would be the last pieces that you would choose, because most people don't know what they are.
That's a very good point, isn't it? And you certainly wouldn't choose white metal, would you?
No. Every piece I've chosen is chosen for a reason. And also, the other thing you should note, Archie, is the fact that I've been into watches since I was 7 years old.
7 years old. Wow. That is amazing. Absolutely amazing. I'm just going to be showing these this collection. You want to remain anonymous because you don't want to be outed there, do you?
No, but the thing is this, Paul, like those two watches you've just brought up, right? Okay.
Yes.
The AP and the Patek. They said, well, why did I buy two similar watches? Well, two reasons. One is they're almost like cousins because they were designed with the same enlightenment in mind, the same desire in mind in the 70s. The second thing is they're both part of the Holy Trinity of watches. They are they made a significant impression in that time. Now the thing is, most collectors know what those watches are, but they wouldn't know what the IWC General Dental one was. Well, they would know about it, but it's not desirable. Those are the two iconic Gerald Genta pieces. They are his most famous pieces.
Yes, I know what you're saying there. They are absolutely beautiful. And I gotta say, you know, it's a very, very beautiful collection. It's a beautiful collection you've got, and you've assembled.
And the other thing that should be noticed, Paul, as well, right? It's like I think you made the comment that I can get those watches because I go in with wheelbarrows full of money. That's just not the case. I've worked hard for my money. But the second thing is, for those watches, I've had to go on the list and wait patiently like everybody else.
Yes. Yes, that's a very good
part of the fun of collecting, because it's the time. You appreciate the watch that much more because you've had to wait that much longer to get it. I've just not walked in and said, can I have a Nautilus? Because they would just laugh at you.
No, that's right there. You've had to queue up like everybody else with £20,000 in their pocket.
Well, you say 20,000, Paul, but when you queue up, it could be more because they might put the prices up. You never know what the price will be.
That's exactly right. That's a very good point there. Now, I wanted to ask you there, the other thing someone did actually say to me, which was said rather nastily, they said, why do you seem to have cellophane all over your watches? Are you scared about them being scratched?
No, well, it's not that. It's a question of the thing is this, right? When you close the box, or the watches are quite similar together, you know, they can scratch unnecessarily. It's if you buy a Ferrari car, you don't then put it through a $5 car wash, do you? You know, you take care of the car because you've invested a significant amount of money into that watch.
Yes.
You know,
yes. So
as you quite rightly point out, you know, they're very delicate watches. So you've got to take care of what you put your money into.
Yes, yes, I understand there. It's tell me this is the entire collection, or there are some other pieces that
there are some other pieces which I didn't get time to send you, like a 5119.
Okay.
Which is obviously the Patek 5119. And I'd like to go on.
Oh yes, that's right. That's a beautiful piece.
Yeah, with the hobnail bezel.
Now, I wanted to say, you've got your gold AP there. That's a great piece.
And you're probably wondering why I bought that piece, aren't you?
No, it's just gorgeous. It's a beautiful chronograph. You need a chronograph in your collection. Every man...
But there is a story behind that watch, though, as there is with all my watches.
Okie dokie. What is the story? Tell me the story.
As you know, I went to the Organise PK factory as a guest.
Yes, yes.
And I actually looked around and saw how the watches were being made. And at the end of the tour,
yes,
they took us into this room, and all the way around the room was every watch that they currently have for sale. And you can just take it and try it on. And it was actually walk-in safe, believe it or not. It's not a normal room, but it's actually a walk-in safe. And I just pulled that watch out and I put it on, and it just popped out. I just had to have it. It was just spoke to me. I tried the blue version on, and it was not in the same as that, you know. And it's the first time they've done one with a brown dial.
Yes, yes, yes. No, it is a very sexy piece there. It's I wanted to ask you there, what is your favorite piece out of the lot here?
My favorite out of the lot, I would have to say probably well, actually it's a good question. I would say for everyday use, it'd have to be the JLC, really, because you can wear, because that's so versatile. And it can take a bit of a bashing, actually, the JLC, believe it or not.
Yes, that's the triple date, isn't it?
Yeah.
You love that watch, don't you?
I love that watch, because with that watch, right,
yes.
with that watch, you could be in jeans, right, away, in jeans and a T-shirt, and then get called up for some important event or something, and you can still wear the same watch and it will look perfect.
Yes, that's a very good point. Tell me this, was there any watches that were to you? in this collection?
So again, sorry, I didn't quite get it.
Any gifts? Any gifts? Did anyone give you any of these watches?
Yeah, which is the one I told you about, which was the Cartier. Which the reason why I've got that watch. Right. Yeah, the reason why I've got that watch is that was given to me by the late Morris Gibb, right?
Oh, I see. He was in a small band.
Yeah, of course. And he used to wear the all gold version of that watch.
I see.
Right.
Gee, that's a very, very...
And the thing about the Cartier is what people don't remember.
That's the two-tone Cartier watch.
In 1904, you know.
And this is an automatic or a quartz one?
Automatic.
Cool. It's two-tone.
Yeah. As I said, you know, Cartier have got a significant place in history, whether we like it or not, with the Art Deco. And like I said, the first pilot watch, they created that for Alberto Santos Dumont in 1904, a famous pilot.
That's right. Yes. 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 Yes.
Also had a Cartier, which was sold recently for quite a significant amount of money.
Yes.
So it does have its place in horology, whether we like it or not.
No, that's a very good point. That's a very good point. I think there's a lot of jealous people out there. There's a lot of jealous people who are quite nasty critters. There's some very nasty critters in the audience. They get very jealous. They get very upset when somebody buys more expensive toys. What can you say to poor people out in the audience?
But the thing is this, I came from a background where I had zero money, right? And the second thing is this, Paul, right?
Yes.
Tomorrow, it could all go tits up for me, and I could lose a lot, right? I could lose a lot just as quick as I've got it. You only have to look at companies like Enron that are multi-billion-pound companies, and they crash overnight. So never take for granted what you've got. At the end of the day,
that's a good point.
You can lose it as quick as you've got it. So I don't say, look at me, I've got this. Yes. I just appreciate the fact that every time I have those watches, I've got them for 1 day extra. You know, you know,
I'd hope you'd still be friends with Archie if you went on Skid Row.
Of course.
Now this reverso here you've got, I really do love this reverso. It's a moon phase reverso, and I got to tell you, I did.
Do you know why?
Tell me why. Tell me why you bought this watch. Why did you buy this watch?
Because it was your fault. Actually, it was all your fault.
Because you wanted the grand date, didn't you?
Yeah, and they don't make the grand date anymore.
They don't make the grand date, and you only buy new, don't you? You don't like buying used. You like new, don't you?
The fact was this watch actually is discontinued, right?
Yep. No, I'm not criticizing it. I'm just asking you. You like to buy new.
But look, listen, this watch is actually discontinued, and because it was discontinued, I actually just paid just above wholesale price for that watch from an AD.
Wow.
So I got it at a significantly low deal.
It's a beautiful watch, but I mean, a triple date complication is really beautiful.
It is, but it's not practical, believe it or not, because it's manual wind.
Yep.
You know, if you don't use it for a couple of days, you got to set it all up again.
Power reserve on it.
45 hours, I think.
Oh, okay, got you. It's beautiful, but I got to tell you honestly, Rudy, that is a very sexy watch, and I think it punches way above its weight. What do you think?
I think it's an understated watch, and I think
it's the price of a Rolex, isn't it? It's the price of a newish Rolex, isn't it?
Yeah, and when you consider the complication of what you're getting for the money, it's outstanding, really.
I don't know what you paid, but I'm going to relate this. I had a friend of mine who's a corporate lawyer in America. He actually has got the same watch. He paid $7 for it on the used market.
I paid in sterling. I'll tell you. I'm happy to tell you what I paid.
Sure.
5,750.
Okay, that's about 7,000 US, I think, isn't it? 8,000.
From an AD.
Okay. He bought it for $7. Then he wanted to sell it. Right. The ADs at the moment, these are soft. Okay. I got a reverso myself. I admit it. They're soft. I'm not going to hide from the truth.
But you know, Paul, right?
You can't buy them cheap. They they will buy from you cheap, but they're not available cheap on the used market. You know this, don't you?
Yeah, but the thing is, I noticed on your video, you see, the other thing that people don't take into consideration is, like when you showed that watch for $9,000, right, on Chrono 24. If they buy it from Chrono, they've got to pay a commission, 1. 2, if they buy it outside the States, for instance, they've got to pay import duty and taxes. So it's going to be a lot more than $9,000.
Yes, that's right.
You know, and the second thing is this: you know yourself owning a reverso or several reversos in your time. Normally, when you buy a reverso, it's a watch you buy not to ever sell. It's a watch you keep for life.
Look, I gotta tell you, I love those Art Deco numerals. I really do love, in all honesty I really love hands. I love everything about it. I tell you the truth, if I didn't have a Reverso Grand Date, I could have easily got a calendar. This watch is superb, absolutely.
I don't know if it's the same as yours, but within the strap of that watch, at the top of the inside the strap is metal to keep its shape. There's actual metal structure inside the bracelet in the actual strap itself, in the leather strap.
Oh, okay.
To keep the shape at the top.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure because I haven't. I've got an original strap. I got a black. Actually, mine came with a brown crocodile, which was a bit knackered, and I got a. I went and bought an original. I wanted the original strap. I just feel the non-original straps don't feel the same. You notice that? It's like putting cheap tires on a Mercedes or a Rolls Royce.
Well, that's what, like with this strap for this watch, the reason why it's expensive is because it's what's inside the strap as well to keep the shape. There's like a metal construction within the top edge of the strap, which keeps the bend from the actual link loops on that.
I got to tell you, in all honesty, that is one of the sexiest watches I've seen, and I can't fault it at all. It doesn't have a second hand. Yours, you know, that doesn't have a second hand on it.
No, it doesn't.
Which is quite nice. My Patek doesn't have a second hand. It's very elegant. What's on the back when you flip it over? Is it a display case? I'm trying to remember. I think it's a display case.
I did send you a picture. It's just the display case of the workings of the back.
Yeah, that's what I remember. There's so many models I've looked at. I think that's a gorgeous watch.
But you know what I really like, Archie, of that watch, the new watch is called the Tribute Moon, and that's a stunning watch. It's a duo face, same size, with just a moon phase, and it's and date. It's an incredible watch.
Oh, I think I like the calendar more.
You know,
I love a calendar. A calendar is a very cool function. And how do you advance the days when it's like only 30 days in the month? How do you advance it?
There's a little tool that you push in the side of the. It's a bit probably similar to your Patek, where you push a tool.
Just at the side.
Yeah. There's two on the other side. You use that to move it forward. So
I tell you, the other that's another photo of it. That's just a very sexy, erotic watch. It's gorgeous, don't you think? I found the metal because of the shape of the Reverso, it does scratch rather easily. That's the only negative I will say about this Reverso shape. Highly polished metal can scratch pretty easily.
Yeah, that's why obviously it's a dress watch, and normally you would only wear that kind of watch, you know, on certain occasions.
It is but beautiful. Like I must admit that is sexy as sin, don't you think?
It is. It's like the other Reverso I really liked.
Yeah.
And I think your friend Greg Kinder had one, which was the one from the Thomas Crane affair. I really like that watch.
Okay.
It's Brosnan wore in the Thomas Crane affair. You did a video on it.
That's right. Yes. Yeah. He had a duo actually, an 18-carat.
Yeah,
rose gold. His was a little bit small. That's the only negative. I almost bought it off him, but it was just. I like the grand size. I think the size of your Reverso is the same as mine.
It is.
Is perfect.
I think what it was. Don't forget, in the period when that came out, that watch.
Yeah, they were smaller.
You know, I mean, the size of that Cartier watch.
Has that watch helped you pick up birds at all?
I'm not into that. Actually, I'm
Okay.
in a happy relationship, you know. So
Okay.
but that's a good. I think I sent you that picture actually.
Yeah. Where did you get that from?
I can't remember. Someone sent it to me.
Yeah, I've seen it before. It's a great picture. I love it. It's a great drawing. Let's just having a look here.
Oh, I'll talk to you about something actually, Archie,
Yeah.
which is very interesting, right?
Yeah.
You know, you were talking about Lange and Hitler used to give them out.
Yes.
If you look at certain Lange models, right?
Yes.
Okay, certain ones, you can put the German swastika eagle inside the watch and it fits inside the space. Exactly. Exactly. It's the shape of the German eagle, where you got the hole at the bottom and down at the bottom, and then where it goes across at the top is where the eagle goes and the head. It's unbelievable.
Wow. Now tell me this, with your I wanted to ask you here, with your I really love this photo here. This is your watch box. You got a great watch box. So that's just superb. I wanted to just hang on. I wanted to ask you this photo here that we can see on the screen. What is the go? What is the go with, you've got your Nautilus. Why did you buy the Nautilus?
Because
you love that Gerald Gentry design. It's just so sexy.
I do 1972 when it came out, and it's just a significant period, really.
You love the Royal Oak. I noticed you got the 15202. Is that right?
That's correct.
Because that's not a screw-in crown. It's a little bit. It doesn't have a second hand either. You know that?
Yeah, of course. But the watch is a perfect size of 39 mil. It feels really. It's a nice weight on the wrist. You know, and I like the fact that it doesn't have a second hand because it makes you can have more appreciation of the dial. It's not in the way of the dial. It's just stunning, really.
And what made you get this Royal Oak offshore chronograph, that beautiful one in the middle there? What made you get that one? I love that royal blue.
Well, I didn't own an offshore for a start, which is obviously a significant thing. And I just like the panda dials, and I like the fact of the orange second hand.
It's very sexy. It's like a Tudor Monte Carlo for rich people.
But it's just, and also I like the fact that the pushers were ceramic.
Yes, very sexy watch there. And then your blank pane. What made you buy the blank pane? I've never really been a big fan of blank pane, but tell me why you bought the blank pane.
Well, for a start with the 50 fathoms. First of all, it was the first divers watch in 1953. Right, that's the first thing. Second thing is when you actually feel it and handle it, right, it is way above any Rolex Submariner. It's on a different level, And the thing I like about it is that you can wear that watch, and no one knows what it is. It's the sort of watch you'll wear, and then someone will come up to you and say you should get a Submariner. When the Submariner really was a homage to the 50 fathoms, and some can argue that, it's just on a completely different level. I like the fact that the bezel is also sapphire crystal, and it's illumined as well. It's anti-magnetic. It's got everything you want in that watch.
Amazing. And you do love it.
It's the most incredible watch. You got to try one, and it's just a stunning watch. It's just when you actually feel and you see the watch, it's a bit like looking at it like an old German King Tiger tank. Sure. It means the business. It's there.
Sure.
It's one of those watches that it would just blow your mind. It's just
now someone's asking that. Are you the Dodger? Are you the Dodger?
No. I don't know where this came from. The thing is this: if I want to make a comment on YouTube, which I've already done as a statement, I use my own name. I don't care. I don't need to hide behind a pseudo name. It's ridiculous.
Oh, I see. Got you. Someone said, I'll just look at some of the comments that are coming in. Hate the gold offshore.
But they don't have to buy it, do they?
No, that's a good point there. Hate the 50 fathoms.
Well, they don't have to buy it. That's what I'm saying. Why do I care what they like? I'm not buying my collection for somebody else. And this is what a lot of people do when they buy Rolex. All they know is Rolex. And they're buying it because they want to impress other people. Otherwise, they wouldn't be coming out with these stupid comments. You know, why do I care if they like it or not? You know, it's a watch that I bought for me, not for anybody else.
They're speculating, how big is the estate you live in? Do you live in a gated
That's for me
community?
to find out.
Do you live in a gated community with a big wall?
I just live in a normal place like anyone else.
I see.
But the thing is,
now,
Paul, these people, right? You know, and there's no disrespect to these people. They got their opinion, and I respect their opinion, what they like and what they don't like. You know, because that's their opinion of what they want. But at the end of the day, they take it on personally as if it's their money and their watch. And I don't get it.
There is a criticism. They're saying, why did you get the AP and the Patek?
I explained it already, because they were designed and they were a significant point in time for that era. They made a significant impact. They changed the whole thing of sports watches at that point. You know, you can't deny it. You know, you had the AP that was first in 1972, and then you had the Patek Philippe that followed afterwards. You know, what is there not to understand about that, really? And they're part of the Holy Trinity. The IWC is not part of the Holy Trinity.
Someone's saying you can get good prices from ADs in certain circumstances. That is a fair point.
That is correct.
Do you eat KFC chicken? They're asking, do you eat KFC?
I'll eat anything if it's put on the table.
Okay, that's a fair point. Now, the other thing is there, the thing that's been asked there is, what made you pick the 50 Fathoms over a gold Submariner, for example? Would that not have been a better choice?
No, I'll give you an example. Rolex make 1.4 million watches a year, right?
Yeah.
The serial number on that 50 Fathoms, just to put it in perspective, is in the early 500s. Why do I want to wear a watch that everyone else wears? You know, I don't want. Yes. You can walk into a. You know, I want something that's. If I'm investing a certain significant amount of dough in a watch,
yes,
I don't want to be having a watch that everyone else has got. You got real estate people wearing a Submariner, lawyers wearing a Submariner, car salesmen wearing a Submariner. I don't want that if I'm spending that significant amount of money. You know,
no.
Why would I buy a Submariner when I've just bought a far superior watch? I'm not going down.
I agree. Yes. Yes, I understand. Someone said your watches make a statement. I'm considerably richer than you.
No, because like I said to you, most people don't know what they are. So how can that be? If I went into a pub and wore a Rolex, everyone would know what it was. And then they would come out with these stupid comments like, is that a real one? You know. Whereas if I go in with that watch, no one gives a rat's crap what that watch is, because they don't know what it is. It could be something they bought from a 7-Eleven.
Yes. 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 I understand what you're saying there.
The people that buy something like a Blancpain watch, like that 50 Fathoms, A, know about watches, and B, have nothing to prove, because that's not why they're buying the watch. If I wanted to give the impression of how much I've got or what I don't have, I just buy Rolex. I just buy Rolex in gold, you know, or whatever, or white gold, and just buy that if that's what I wanted to achieve. I wouldn't need to buy the watches that I've got.
Fair point. That's a fair point there. I understand. I understand what you're saying there. That's now no, I understand. Would you get a Grand Seiko? Someone's asking, would you get a Grand Seiko in your collection?
No, because the reason why I wouldn't get a Grand Seiko is, to me, it just doesn't appeal to me. I mean, I've actually got Seikos in my collection, really everyday ones, but for the money I would spend on a Grand Seiko, I'd rather put that in a Patek Philippe or an Audemars Piguet or a Vacheron Constantin overseas.
Are you going to get a Vacheron overseas?
I'm looking at the one with the blue dial, the chronograph, at the moment.
Yes, that's a beautiful watch.
But I'm also looking at a Lang A1 as well.
People are saying, are you Sir Cliff Richards?
Say again?
People are saying, they're asking a question, are you Sir Cliff Richards?
No, I'm not. Definitely not. I'm not that old.
Okay. Have you met him?
No, I have not met him. No.
It's an interesting collection there.
But it's like your collection. Do you know one watch in your collection that I've been looking into getting?
Yes.
It's the Breguet Type 20. I think that's an incredible watch.
Yes, I know exactly what you mean there. They are some pretty damn amazing critters I've got there. It was a big struggle for me. You know this, Rudy? It was a big struggle. I know.
I've been there myself. What you've got to remember, Paul, is I understand it because I've been there like where you've been. And this is why I understand I can lose it as quick as I've got it. You know.
I tell you this now, Rudy. We're getting a lot of negativity coming in. I'm going to just change focuses here because I don't like the negativity that's coming out there. A lot of hate in the audience. People don't seem to like you, Rudy.
Well, the thing is this: it's none of my business what they think of it, is it? Really?
Let's just change topics. You can review. Can you see on the screen now? You should see my collection. This is your chance to do a bit of review of my collection. What do you think of this photo here?
Right. Okay. We'll go from.
What do you think?
Well,
there's a London bus. There's a London bus in the background.
There is.
You're from England. There you go. I've made you feel at home.
Now, the thing is this, right? The reverser, you know how I feel about that. You cannot go wrong with that watch. That will never, ever go out of date. It's timeless. You know, you can have that watch in 20 years' time and it'll still be a current model.
Yes, right? It is a very sexy model, that.
You know, you've got everything you can want in it. And you've got the power reserve and the second hands and the nice window date.
Yes.
You know, and the window date reminds me a bit of a Lange, really. The way they've done it.
I see what you mean. Yes, the two disc date. It's very sexy.
It is very, and it's got the same. I think that's the same numerals as what I've got on mine, isn't it?
It is. It is. It is. I love those Art Deco numerals.
Yeah, you know, it's a very classy watch. You know,
out of 10, what would you give that watch there? That'd have to be an 8.5.
No, it'd be for me personally, I'd give it a 10. To be honest,
a 10. A 10.
Because it's got everything you want. That watch ticks every box. You can wear that watch in every situation of everyday life.
Yes.
And there's not many watches you can do that with.
No, that's very true. Okay, Rudy, moving on. Let's keep this collection going there. What was the next piece in my collection there? There was the Speedmaster, the man on the moon, the man on the moon, the moon watch. What did you think of the moon watch?
You see, the thing is this is a tricky question for me because I don't like the new version because I don't like the movement inside the new version. If they'd have brought that out and done it properly with the original 3-2-1 movement, which I feel they should have done, then I would be right on that watch. I would be right on that watch. Yes. You know, it's almost like they're conning people really with that watch because they're charging a lot of money for a watch that's not what.
I think it's bang per buck. That's only you can buy it on Joma Shop for $33.50 US. $33.50.
Yeah, but then again, you've got to pay import duty and taxes if you're outside the US. So you're not really paying that price.
You can ship it. You go to America a fair bit. You could pick it up when you're in America next.
Yeah, but I still want the one with the 3-2-1 movement, really, Paul. To be honest.
Okay.
But
it is still. It's
a homage to the moon watch, really. I call it a homage. It's in the spirit of.
Okay.
I would say.
Okay. Okay. Next piece then Rudy, was the let's keep going. Let's keep looking at the collection. Was the next piece then was the Explorer 2. This is the dog. The dog of the Rolex sports range. What do you think? Is that a dog? Woof woof.
Actually, I think that watch is good value for money because you're getting the GMT, you're getting the water resistance, so you're getting basically two watches in one, really. So you're not having to go to the expense of a GMT or a Submariner, but they will both do the same functions.
Wait, you know what I like about this watch the most?
What's that?
It doesn't look like a Rolex. Like, it doesn't look like a GMT. It doesn't look like a Submariner. Every dickhead doesn't say, is that a Rolex? It's just, it is what it is.
Well, the one you've got, I prefer because it's a smaller one. I actually prefer the smaller one to the bigger one.
40 mil, that's big enough. 40 mils is big enough, don't you think?
Definitely. And I prefer the red hand as opposed to the orange hand anyway. On that white bar.
Yes, I know what you're saying. Yes.
And you can pick them up at a really good price, you know, and
it's a great it's got a lot of bang per buck, hasn't it, really?
Yeah, definitely. I would prefer that to the new one, but I think it's...
And I mean, as a combo deal here, you have a Explorer 2 and you have a Speedy. That's a perfect two-piece collection for not a lot of money. Do you agree?
Yeah, because you can wear them both as a dress watch and a casual watch. Both those watches.
£6,000 for the pair on the used market for two of them.
And you won't lose money on that.
No, I don't think you can just enjoy them, and they're beautiful pieces.
Do you know the Speedmaster though, the one that you've got, right? Yeah. I actually prefer it on a leather strap. Actually,
I put it on a leather strap many times. I do love it on a strap myself. Okay, let's keep moving along then. Then the next watch in the collection is the. Let's see if I've got a photo of it here. Let's have a look. It's the Ingi, the IWC, the Ingi.
I mean, what is it to say? I mean, it's
what do you think of the Ingi? Do you like the Ingi?
Yeah, but what I like about it, to be honest, I like the fact of the numbers at 12 and 6, and the rest being bat and dial. So it just means you focus on the watch, you know.
Yes. What would you give that? We had to. Sorry, let me just go back a bit. We already rated the Reverso. You said that's a 10. What would you give the Omega Speedmaster Man on the Moon? What would you give that out of 10? You're saying it's a compromise. What would you give it then? A 7, a 6, a 5?
I would give it
me
a
6.
I'd give it
a 6.
If it had
the Explorer 2,
I would give
the Explorer 2.
I'd give that an 8.
Okay, and then the Ingenua. What would you give the Ingenua?
Well, just for the design alone, really. I mean, regardless of what you think of the watch, I mean, it looks a stunning watch. You can wear that every day. I give that an 8 as well, to be honest.
Okay, and then so we've looked at most of those watches there. Now we need to look at this is my Grail piece. This is the one piece that I can proudly say is mine. And that is the World Time. I wanted to ask you, do you prefer it in white gold? That's the white gold World Time I had. Look at the white gold.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a gorgeous piece. Or do you prefer it in yellow gold? What is more sexier? Tell me.
Well, you know me. I prefer the white gold one. And I'll tell you why I prefer the white gold one. And it's not for the reason you think.
No, tell me.
The reason why I prefer the white gold one again is that will go with any attire that you wear. Whereas the yellow gold one or rose gold one's more formal, really. Whereas the white gold, again, you can wear that casual or you can wear that with a suit.
Hey, I had a chance to make a couple $1,000. I couldn't let a gift horse in the mouth.
Well, no, I don't blame you.
You understand? I cashed out at one. I actually made a little bit of money on it. One of the few times I've made money out of watches.
But my point is
And
this.
have you seen the guilloche on that dial?
Exactly. Look at it.
I mean, there's nothing like that in this world, is there?
That's why you pay. That's why you pay the money.
I mean, you can't compare that to anything, can you?
No. Talking of which,
it's not a Rolex. You know that? It's not a Rolex. You know that?
Of course, you know. Well, the thing is this, right? Like I said, a person that buys a Patek Philippe watch doesn't have to prove anything. He knows what it is. A person in the watch industry knows what it is. What else is there to say?
What do you think of the crown guards? What do you think of the crown guards? Do you like them, or you're not a fan?
I'm not a fan of crown guards on a dress watch, to be honest.
Okay. Do they work on this one or not?
Well, I think for the gig, because that's not a 38 or anything. That's a smaller version, isn't it?
37. Yeah. It's not
well,
the
37. It'd be okay, but if it, on anything larger than that, I don't think it works because it's just Because don't forget that makes the case significantly wider. Then
I see. I know what you're saying there.
So I think on the one that you've got, it probably does, but I don't think on the bigger model it would really.
I see.
And the other thing I want to bring up, two things actually.
Yes.
Is that someone said, why don't I get a GMT? Because you said in that video that I don't need a GMT. Well, the thing is, that's what you use your iPhone for. You don't need a GMT.
Oh, it's a bit mean.
Well, if I need to know what the time is in another country, I don't need a watch to do that. I can just ask my iPhone.
I see.
I mean, the thing is when do you ever really use a GMT, really? I mean, in all honesty, it's like, for instance,
it's handy.
But when do you use it, really? Honestly, unless you're
used it.
Or, I mean, it's like when you're going on holiday somewhere, you already know what the time is in advance, if it's plus or minus, and you set your watch accordingly anyway.
Yeah, I understand.
You know, I mean, if you're going to get a GMT, you want something like you've got as a world time, or like the one that I've got on order, which is a 5930.
Yes. When is that coming?
It's how long's a piece of string. It comes when it comes, you know. It's one of those things where they will not give you a time frame on that watch.
Sure, I understand there.
It's like when you order a Patek Philippe 5711, they will not give you a time frame of when that watch comes. Because the reason why they don't do it is because the watch could be discontinued. Like they discontinued the 5920. They didn't tell anyone, they just did it.
Yes. Yes, I understand. So the big question is there, Rudy, is are you going to get a Breguet Type 20 or not?
I am, yeah.
How soon are we looking?
Deciding which one, because they do different versions. I'm just sort of...
Would you buy a used one? Would you ever?
Definitely. I wouldn't buy a Breguet Type 20 new. I'll buy one of those on the used market. Because you can get a really nice current model for a really good price on the used market. And if it's a couple of years old, there's nothing going to be wrong with that watch.
Can I show you what I really like about the yellow gold world time?
Yeah, of course you can.
This simple picture here. That's a 1960s world time. It's very they did them mainly in yellow gold. It just reminisces to a time, a bygone era. You see what I mean?
I do. And if you noticed how they've done how the hands work with that watch?
Yes, it's just amazing.
It is. And I like the fact that the way they've created that case in such a way, it just, if you see the roundness of the glass of that watch,
yes,
it just pops. It's just incredible that the case sort of moves almost all in line. It almost becomes one. The glass and the case is one. The way they've done it.
Yes, it is absolutely Beautiful.
I mean, if that watch there, why would you want another watch if you've got that watch? You wouldn't need anything else as a dress, really.
No, here's another photo of it here, Rudy. There you go. It's that's a 1960s. 1960s. These were big money in the day. So, Rudy, it's yeah. I completely. I would be. Only thing I could say to you is, Rudy, it's a bit of a worry if you have to buy. I don't know whether I love my Type 20 Breguet.
I'd never buy that watch new.
I don't think you could buy it new. You would really. It's not something to buy new. You know what I mean?
I would never buy that watch new. But what I'm saying is, if you actually look on Chrono24, you can get ones 2-3 years old at really excellent prices. You know.
Yes, Chrono. That's exactly it. There, it's Breguet is a great brand, but you got to be smart about things. You know.
You have. That's why when you buy something, you buy it from a reputable dealer that you know that it's been there a long time. Because if you've got a problem, then you know.
That's exactly it.
You know,
you've got to be sensible, don't you?
Well, it's like, for instance, the other day, Paul. Right, I went into a second-hand dealer, and they were selling some Rolexes, and there was an old Sea Dweller that I quite liked actually, and it was 1998, but he wanted too much money for it, and I asked him, "Has it been serviced?" He said, "Yeah, we had a Rolex certified watch repairer look at it." I said, "So basically, it hasn't been serviced then?" I said, "Because you've got nothing to prove that to me. And second, you know, Rolex don't certify people anymore. You know, they even took their tools back from the repairers many years ago."
So what did he say to that then?
And I said, "So how do I know that that person has not done more damage than good?" I said, "You're asking over the odds for the watch." And I said, "It could cost me a lot more money because if I end up sending it to Rolex, they could say, well, all these things need to be done because of it not being done correctly in the first place." You know.
Yes.
So sometimes, you know, sometimes less is not more. If you see where I'm coming from, and you just can't believe just because they're a shop, you just can't. If you phone up any of these companies like Watchfinder and all that, it says serviced. That's all very well, but who serviced it? You don't know.
Yes.
The quality of the service or what that person's doing. Does their idea of servicing mean they flip the back open and put an air duster in it? What do they mean by service?
Yes, I understand what you're getting at. That's a fair point.
You know, and that's why sometimes, you know yourself, buying a watch is easy, but you actually selling it is the harder thing, because who do you sell it to? In the fact that, are you going to get ripped off?
Yes, that's a very fair point there. You've got to be so careful in this world.
It is.
Place. You know, you've got to be careful. And you don't want to just jump into anything that comes up. You've got to always do your homework.
You have.
That's very, very important.
Well,
otherwise...
I remember, Paul, you saying a while back that you got stung because you sent a watch and they never collected it from the postal service.
Oh, that's right. Yes. Yeah, it's very hard. Well, I got it back. No, I got it back. I got it back.
But it's a stress factor in between, though, isn't it?
It's not worth it. I don't. Yeah, you're right. That's why I don't like dealing in watches much. I really don't want to get too involved in it, because it is such a stress factor. It's awful. You know what I mean? A lot of people out there are villains. There's some really nasty villains out there, and
Paul Thorpe almost got murdered for his AP.
Have you spoken to him lately?
Yeah, I speak to him on a regular basis. We're really good friends, you know.
Yes.
I mean, they waited for him. They waited for him after he left his premises and almost murdered him to get his Royal Oak, a £60,000 watch.
Here's inside a Breguet. Have a look at this. Breguet Type 20.
You know,
This is inside a breguet there. See, it's a very well finished movement. Look at this. This is a breguet type 20 that I used to have.
Fantastic watch.
It is. Look at that. That's inside there. It's just absolutely beautiful.
But you've got to admit, when you look at that watch, and you wear that watch, it sort of brings you back memories of like World War II.
Oh, it does. It's a really, really cool watch to have there. And you gotta have your, I'll just tell you something funny here. Here's some reminiscing. I'll show you some reminiscing photos here, Rudy. Many years ago, right? Before I ran into personal reasons, right? I had some personal problems. You know, money can be very tight at times for me, right?
For everyone.
I had a dream of having 3 Pateks. Look at this here.
Wow. So
that I actually owned the annual calendar and the white gold one, and in the middle was a rose gold 5119.
Do you know what? I love that one in rose gold. I absolutely love that 5119. It to me, I mean, you got to admit the Roman numerals and the hobnail bezel. It's just incredible.
And it's manual wind. That would have been a beautiful trio, but I could never complete it, I'm afraid. I ran into, and this is another rose gold one. This is a Patek 6000.
But the thing is this, Paul, always never say never, because you never know what's around the corner.
Yes.
Never say never.
I know what you're saying.
If you stop dreaming, you may as well be dead.
Yes, but we've got to live within our means. You know, people who are of a certain class shouldn't go too far off there, should they? You know.
No, but it's like I said there. The thing is this, right? You've owned those watches.
Yes.
The point is this: you've experienced them, and the experience in itself, even if you haven't had it for a long while, is enough. It's a bit like stamp collectors. You know, stamp collectors collect certain really expensive stamps, and even though they might only own it for a short period, to them, the fact that they owned it and experienced it is enough.
Yes, I know exactly. I know what you're saying.
No one can take that away from you.
You're right. I do understand what you're saying there. It's kind of sad, but those days are gone, I'm afraid.
Not necessarily. You never know what's around the corner. You never know. For all you know, you get these people that are air hunters. You could be in the long line of a list of some millionaire somewhere in England, or wherever, and saying, "Here, Paul. Yes. You've just come into £1 million. You never know."
No, I understand. I understand what you're saying there. It's you know, I do understand exactly where you're coming from, and you never know your luck.
A fan somewhere. You might even have a fan you don't know about that's put you in their will.
Yes. We all live in hope, Rudy. We got to live in hope.
The fact is just to have a passion for what you do. And my advice to anyone that's buying a watch, I know I'm getting a lot of slagging off, which is their business. But the fact is to live in your truth and to buy what you want and what truly makes you happy, and not somebody else.
That's a fair point. You've got to buy what makes you happy.
Otherwise, what's the point, you know, of doing anything? Or, you know, it's like what you do, how you spend your money is your business. Yes. As long as it makes you happy, that's all that anyone can ask, isn't it?
Yes, that's a very fair point, isn't it? As long as it makes you happy, it's no one else's business, is it?
I don't disrespect these other people that are giving me crap. If they enjoy the watches they've got, let them enjoy it. But don't expect me to justify why I've bought what I've bought. I've bought my watches the same reason why they bought their watches. Doesn't mean I'm any better or they're any less. It's just we're different.
Yes, I understand. There's a lot of jealous people out there, you know. The problem is with the UK is that you get a lot of losers out there, you know.
It's anywhere in the world.
They want to take people down. They want to take you down. You know what's to blame, don't you? It's your welfare system. You know that?
Tell me about it. But do you know another thing?
You know, if you've got money in the bank, you can't qualify for the gyro.
Well, it depends, because if you've paid in a certain amount of national insurance and stuff, you get you have a non-contribution based.
But there's bludgers out there who've never had any money. They just always have lived off the benefit. You know this?
Yeah, but do you know what? In my country, we are sending £54 million a year to Poland alone in family tax credits for children that have never stepped foot in the country. That's the glories of being in the European Union.
Yes, you guys have got to get out of that as fast as you can, you know.
Yeah, but we're being stitched up. We're being stitched up because all the Ramonas and even like failed Theresa May, they're all Ramonas. They don't want us to leave because they're on the gravy train. And my point is this, Paul, right? If being in the European Union is so fantastic, why are they giving us such a hard time about leaving if it's so brilliant? Why does everyone want to come to England? They don't want to go to Germany or France or Italy.
No, because they've got to work over there. That's why they want a place where they can bludge. You don't understand. They want to go to some. Now, I wanted to ask you, these were my 5 watches I had before. My collection was better then or not? Hello?
No, yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, was my collection better then or not? I've only got one of these pieces still. I've only got the Reverso is the same watch. This is my collection before. I had 2 Pateks, an AP, and a Breguet, and a Reverso. Compare that to my collection now. What's better?
I would say
probably then. Let's be honest. We don't have to. We can be truthful.
No. I'm just taking into account which watches you've got, right? Okay. Now, for me, I would probably have your latest collection because you've got more versatility.
I see.
I mean, you've got the Reverso that covers every box, right? Which is obviously
more then
there as well.
But I had 2 Pateks. 2 Pateks.
Yeah. But the thing is, they're both dress watches, aren't they?
Yeah, I suppose they could be called that.
Whereas you've got a Patek now that still ticks both boxes because it's a dress watch, and obviously you've got.
My Breguet now doesn't have a date, just out of interest.
But that's what makes it so much nicer for me.
I think it's nicer without the date. Yeah.
I prefer it without the date because it actually the dial is more less is more, really. Yeah.
Yes.
Now, if I was to have to keep one watch out of all the watches you've got, including this one, it'd have to be the Reverso.
It is a killer watch, isn't it?
Yeah. And the reason why I keep the Reverso is what I've said before, is you can wear that in absolutely any situation, and it won't look out of place.
You know, I got to tell you something, Anonymous. I look at this photo with a tear in the eye. You know, I love these watches. You know that?
Of course, because
I love these watches than most bitches I've fucked. You know that?
But the thing is, it's what you went through to get them as well, isn't it?
Yes. It's very sad. It's very sad. But you can't keep everything forever. You know this, don't you?
It's not sad because the fact that you've got these pictures and your memories, no one can take that away from you.
I suppose that's a fair point.
Can you imagine, Paul, right? Most people never even get the chance to experience one of those watches, let alone, you know, all 5 of them.
Sure, I understand. That's a true point. That is true.
You've experienced so many different watches of so many different styles. Most people don't even get. Most people's experience is either a Tag or a Seiko. You don't realise how blessed you are, really, that you've had the opportunity to do that. Most people don't do that. You get people that work 7 days a week, you know, 12-hour days, 15-hour days, and they can't even afford a Citizen watch. You've had all those watches, man.
Yes.
You've been really, really blessed.
Yes, I know what you're saying there. How's that for a photo?
I wish I had an arm long enough to put all those on.
Yes. Yes,
you know,
I understand.
I mean, you look at that. I mean, you've got to admit, right? You look at that AP. The bracelet is stunning.
It is. It is. It's a little bit small, this one. This was a 36 mil. So I got to tell you, I think it's possibly small by modern standards. I think, you know, the 39
so
you've got.
A 37 mil one, which is really good, really nice.
Yeah, I still think the 39, the boutique one you've got, is probably the best. You know. Yeah.
Well, if I didn't have that one, the one I would go for would be the 15300 ST.
I see. Got you.
Because that's 39 mil, and it's got a second hand, and it's a nice size on the wrist. It's a perfect size for that watch. I prefer the 15300 to the 15400, in all honesty.
Oh, I do too. I agree with you. That's very true. You're right.
And do you know the other watch actually I really like? I wouldn't guess. I like the Organise Piguet Offshore Diver.
Oh, that is a very cool watch. You going to get one?
No, because I've already got the 50 fathoms. The only other one I quite like, but you would never again buy.
Why does that matter? Why does that matter? Why do you need to have a balance? Who cares? But you just buy what you want.
The offshore diver, if you think about it, though, the offshore diver, right? When you dive, no one goes more than 100 meters. I can get that out of my chronograph Royal Oak offshore already, because that's got 100-meter water resistance.
I see. Good point.
You know, whereas something like the JEWELLERY Master Compressor Diver is another great watch.
Sure.
But you buy that second hand, you wouldn't buy it new.
No, you got to be careful with what you buy second hand and new. Some pieces, like I said to you, you don't want to buy the Breguet new unless you get a big discount.
Clyde brought up about me not having a Submariner. Well, the sort of Yachtmaster sort of takes that place, really. It's like a posh Submariner, isn't it, really?
He loves his. And it's a blue dial. It's a blue dial. A blue dial Yachtmaster as well, because Clyde's got a blue dial two-tone.
What Yachtmaster you mean?
Yachtmaster two-tone with a blue
the
dial. He loves it.
Is they're not so desirable on the second-hand market when you go to sell it. And the second thing is the gold is so soft.
He paid so little for it. He paid $5,000 for it.
I've never. I debate that. I don't believe him. I've never seen one for that 5,000. I've never ever seen it. I don't believe that for 1 minute.
And he bought it off Craigslist. I think he drives a mean bargain. Clive does drive a mean bargain.
There is a saying.
Don't ever sell anything. He wants it. Yes.
If it doesn't make sense, it ain't true. I rest my case.
Yeah, I understand. I understand.
You know.
Hey, we're going to have to wrap this up there. It's been a pleasure talking to you today. Look, so we've answered the critics. I think we've calmed them down a lot there. They're a lot more happier now. They're going to be leaving good clients, good comments. What else are they going to say there?
I respect everything that they like, because there's no such thing as wrong or right. You know, it's what you like. There's no such thing.
Are you going to get a Richard Mille? They're saying, are you going to get a Richard Mille?
It doesn't appeal to me. If I was a footballer or maybe a rap artist, I might get one, you know, but it doesn't suit me. It's not my kind of watch. I'm not saying it's a bad watch. It just doesn't suit me. It's just not my kind of watch. I'd rather have the Breguet Type 20, to be honest, because that's more me. I'm not saying the Richard Mille's wrong. It's not my cup of tea, you know. you know yourself, Paul, right? You can see a watch, it looks stunning, but when it's on your wrist, you think, it's just not me. You know.
No worries. Let's wrap it up. It's been great chatting to you. We will we'll do it again, okay?
Yeah, you've got a few more watches you're gonna look at of mine as well, I think.
Yes, I still haven't finished. I'm gonna get those out. No worries. Okay, let's wrap her up. Let's get this show under